Hey, this is Daniel from Adorama. I'm here in my studio in New York City, and for this next series of videos, we decided to do something a little bit different. Usually I'm showing you small techniques kind of condensed down. For this series, we're gonna actually shoot kind of almost like a campaign. I set up a series of shoots that you might typically have to do in a day if you were hired by a company, in this case, a beauty company. So we're gonna do some beauty shots of a female model, a male model. We're also gonna shoot some shaving product. We're gonna do a bunch of different things, but today's video is gonna be a straight up beauty shot with a face mask. So this is my go-to beauty setup whenever I do this stuff. You wanna basically control all your light in a beauty shot. Like I'm in a gorgeous daylight studio. I could just stand in here and take some pictures, and if it was for editorial, it'd probably look fine, but we need precision here to be able to nail everything exactly the way we want it. We know these images are gonna need to be retouched, but we wanna get ourselves as close as possible in camera so it's just basically there. So I'm gonna walk through kind of my setup and we'll go to it. So I've got a lot of foam core boards set up here. The reason for that is I've got these whiteboards here are gonna be my fill lights. They're gonna keep the light nice and flat across the front of the model's face, right? So I have one on either side, fill set up right there. Underneath, I've got a reflector. I'm using a Lastolte TriFlip in this case. I did have a white card under there, but I kind of like the idea of using the silver. I think it gave us a little more kick, so I switched out to that. My main light source here is a Profoto extra large umbrella. I opted to go with the silver one to add some specularity to the shot, but it was a bit too specular, so I added a diffuser. So I've got this kind of in between versus using, let's say, the white umbrella, which would give a different look. Beyond that, you might actually notice this, which is kind of an unusual thing. I actually have this, it's somewhat bouncing light back, but also blocking light. When I had, when we first set up the scenario, the lights from the background, all the white background light, was coming forward and it was actually losing the top of her head a little bit. It looked a little odd. This added a little three-dimensionality. You could use black here too, but I think that would have been too much. So on the other side of the set, we've got basically the background lights. I pulled out my old Profoto Acute system, really powerful, 2400 watt second acute system. It's just lighting the background up. I got two heads bouncing the V flats. We've done that before. Gives us a nice even white light. I'm shooting at about f11 for the exposure on the background, and at my model I'm shooting at about f8.5 if I'm metering it. Okay, so let's get Lorraine on set so we can see what this looks like. Good, nice. Okay, so we started off just shooting these really clean beauty shots. That we're gonna need these, they could be just used in general for the company, so this is always good to have packaging, that kind of stuff, even though ultimately we wanna shoot this kind of face mask. I've already got the model, I've got the lighting set up. We know we're not gonna put the mask on until we're ready, so I shot a bunch of shots just clean so we have it. Okay, so I've got my camera set up on here on a tripod. Again, we're treating this like a commercial project. I definitely want to use a tripod because what I don't want to do is make a photo and then have my client look at it and then not be able to get the same angles and stuff. It's just easier to be on a tripod. In this kind of setup, I'm tethered in. Once I get everything in place, I don't really have to touch the camera anymore. I'm using a 200mm lens, nice long lens, gives a nice compression, good for beauty. Probably too long, in my opinion, for most portrait work, but for beauty stuff, I like a bit of a longer lens. I also brought a 135, but I felt like the 200 worked better for this. On top, I've got my Profoto air remote, which is firing both my B1, which is my key light up here, and then also my acute pack, because I have the other air remote turned into a receiver just to fire it. I can't control a TTL or anything, but I can just fire it back there with that. So I'm shooting into Capture One, as always. I'm basically set up here, and what we want to do is, what's important during these kind of sessions is you've got somebody working the computer. We always want to have somebody at the computer. Everything here is about precision. We want to get as much done in a day as possible. So Dave's here watching the images as they come in to make sure if there's anything goes wrong, one of the lights doesn't fire, something's out of focus, you know, it's just something odd happens so that we save ourselves. We know we're going to have to retouch it later, but the more we can kind of get in camera, the better. So be on top of all the little things as you're going. Cool, that looks pretty good. So we got the shots with the mask. They're looking really cool. We've got everything we need. Lorena did a great job. getting the mask on there. We wanted to keep it really kind of casual, so I didn't actually like have a makeup artist come in and make the thing perfect. We wanted to make it look a little bit more real for this, so she just kind of put it on herself, and she did a great job. And I will still retouch it a bit, but I want to keep it kind of feeling a little more natural. So we got the first shot in the can. We're gonna do some more shots for this company in the future videos coming up. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to Adorama TV, and I'll see you next time on set.